Oh, and the next time I make you a podcast, I hope that it'll be.
Huh? What? I can't hear you. Josh, come back, Josh. What are you saying?
The next time I make you podcast, I hope they'll be podcasts of joy, and Broken and I will be back in our normal schedules, and I'll make you podcast out of sheer happiness. That's a promise.
Josh, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. I don't remember what monologue, what part of the show this is from.
It's from the episodes
Is it
we've
the Tears of
watched.
Joy?
Yeah, it's the Tears of Joy thing.
Oh, Tears of Joy podcast. I get it. Hi, my name's Brogan.
And I'm Josh, and this is
And
How to
together,
Otaku.
oh, yep. Together, this is How to Otaku. And I'm
Okay.
not reading a script, you're reading a script. Um, the show where we discuss anime one show at a time to discover the deeper appreciation for the medium.
um, okay, so one little thing I wondered, like, before we get into this is, like, there's a word for, like, an anime fan in general, hence the name How to Otaku, but, like, is there a name for, like, a newer anime fan? Because, like, I don't know what to call myself.
Well, there's a weeb, so I guess you'd be a weebling or a weeblit.
But, like, isn't weeb, like, derogatory, though? Like, it's for, like, a very specific kind of fan, isn't it?
I mean, it can be. I mean, most people who like anime just call themselves weebs. Some people say it derogatorily, but most people just kind of go with it.
Okay. I don't know if I want to call myself that, but thanks.
Well, I am in fact a dirty, filthy weeb.
I might put that in my Twitter bio, like, you know, filmmaker,
Weeblit, weeb in
weeb,
training.
weeblit, encyclopedia bitch. Um,
Ugh.
okay, so a little housekeeping. It's been a while, you know.
Yeah, about that. Christmas
We're in
is
a whole world
hectic,
now. Yeah.
and
Holidays are hectic. Finals week was hectic, and New Year's was hectic, and just everything.
the United States is collapsing as we speak. I'm moving like halfway across the state.
Not out of the country, unfortunately, though.
Not out, unfortunately.
No, there's no hope for us. We will be in a fucking like Mad Max hellscape, and we'll be like recording this podcast, maybe between like drives to get the gasoline or whatever.
By the end of May, I guarantee it. But yeah, most of it has been my fault. Josh, for all of his credit, he has been very good at keeping on time and keeping on schedule, and I've just not been able to keep up with the schedule. And surprisingly, as it may seem, uh, I'll actually be able to keep a better schedule once school starts.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, if all my shit is worked out the way I think it's worked out. I know I said this last podcast, I was going to say last week, but it wasn't. Um, Theoretically, everything should be back on a more tight schedule soon, if nothing else.
So, speaking of the holidays, how were your holidays? Like,
My holidays were fine. I got a coffee pot,
oh, that's
a
nice.
nice, cute drip feed coffee pot, whatever you want to call it.
So
Um,
just like the generic, like, kind of coffee maker thing.
well, not like a coffee maker. It's just like a jar with a filter on it,
Oh,
and
oh, I think
you
I've seen
put
one of
the
those.
yeah,
Yeah.
you put the coffee in the filter, and then you boil the water in like an electric kettle or something. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like a slow pour, like a pour over.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
so that was nice. My birthday is coming up in not too long, and so I've been gifted two things by the gods. The Scott Pilgrim game is coming back, which I'm gonna get for myself as soon as it comes out, and the
Yes.
Monster Hunter Rise demo came out like yesterday, as of this recording. Um, so I'll be playing that until March 24th or whenever that game is supposed to come out.
Okay, so I want to ask about Monster Hunter because I tried the demo for it on Switch. I think it was like Monster Hunter Generations or whatever, some kind of spin-off or
Yes,
something. And I just could not do it.
it's
Like,
very difficult. If you download the Rise demo, I will play it with you. I will show you the ropes. It is a very fun game. It is my favorite series. I genuinely have like over 1,000 hours in this one series, probably from like Freedom Unite until Rise. I've owned or played by other means just about every game in this series since Freedom Unite. Every PSP game, every 3DS game. I didn't get a lot of the main console games up until World, but
Mhm.
ever since Freedom Unite, I've probably put well over 1,000 hours in this series. It's one of my favorite games.
And that's great.
Uh,
That's wonderful for you. Like it's great to enjoy things. It's great to hear people enjoy things. When I spend 15 minutes fighting one dinosaur that I just randomly decided to
it's not
attack
your
for
vibe.
fun, like, and then like both of my little like cat friends die, and that's not fun
It's
for
hard to
me.
get into. It's hard to get into for sure.
Like, especially since I had no idea where the hell I was supposed to go or what I was supposed to do.
Well, you're
Like,
supposed to hunt. It's in the title.
well, do dinosaurs count as monsters?
Yeah. I'm assuming you're talking about like the Great Jaggy, which is literally like the first monster that you're supposed to fight in the game.
Well, the thing is, like, the game doesn't give you, like, a tutorial or anything. It just drops you into it and expects you to know what the fuck's
Yeah,
going on.
in the demo especially, the demos are usually for people who know the series fairly well, which is a shame because like you'd think a demo is supposed to get somebody new into the series.
Yeah, that's exactly
Um,
what demos are for, is, like, they're supposed to,
and none of
like,
the Monster Hunter demos have ever really been good for beginners. They've always just expected you to know how it works, and it's like a new showcase of like, oh, well, these are some of the monsters, and this is one of the maps, and it's always been for like returning players who already know the ropes.
yeah,
Um,
and on top of that, the dinosaurs and maps look like ass.
they've been using the same assets since the PlayStation 2. Give them a break. That's not a joke.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw the Monster Hunter movie, though.
Oh,
Like,
did you?
I
How was
braved
it?
the
I haven't seen
theater
it.
and saw the movie, and it was, it's honestly kind of strange because, like, it's not what you expect it to be. And, like, the first half is, like, actually kind of like, it's not a great movie by any means, but, like, there's kind of like an interesting, like, kind of setup in it. It's almost like a bottle movie where, like, these characters are stuck in this this one situation and they have this one very specific goal in mind, which is to like get off this island and like defeat this one monster that's like buried in the sand, and like if you go
Oh, the
out onto the
Diablos?
sand, yeah, the Diablos.
Yeah, he look okay. I don't know anything about this movie.
Hmm.
The armor and weapon designs, from what I've seen, uh, have been apparently controversial within the Monster Hunter community. I think they look pretty good. They look about as they look about as good as they can look for what this movie is.
Hmm.
Um, but I can't speak for the story because I know that it's like U.S. military trapped in time, go through portal, wake up in Monster Hunter World, and I think that's stupid. But the CGI and the weapon design looks pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, that okay, yes, nothing you have said like about your presuppositions about the movie is incorrect. Like, okay, so like that basic like premise of getting the character into this world is kind of stupid and doesn't really add anything except like this kind of like fish out of water element. I don't think that's entirely necessary for the plot. And then, but then, like, once she gets onto this island with the other character, it actually becomes kind of interesting because then they're like trying to like figure out how to communicate with each other because they don't understand each other's languages, and trying to defeat this monster and get off this stupid, like, fucking rock in the middle of the desert. And so that's actually kind of interesting. I don't know if it's what Monster Hunter fans want, but as somebody who played 15 minutes of Monster Hunter and got really fucking frustrated, I'm happy that it wasn't that.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch it. I didn't know it was already out, honestly.
Yeah, I believe you can only get it in theaters though. So, be safe, wear
I have
your
a good
mask,
friend named
don't.
I have a good friend named Monkey D. Luffy, and he, not myself, he would advocate that piracy is also a legitimate means procuring a watching session of this film.
I don't agree with that, generally speaking. Like, I just, I kind of have like a moral like against that sort of thing. Like
Oh yeah,
the
no. I'm not saying that it's cool, but there's a guy I know.
mhm.
He's called the Straw Hat Pirate, and he would be he'd probably think it was kind of rad.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like the first half is pretty good and then it gets like really stupid, like and then like they have like the worst ending ever. So like overall I'd say it's not a good movie, but like if you catch the first half on TV, it's you'll probably like it, and then like once they get off that island, like that rock in the middle of the desert, don't watch the rest of it. That's what I'd say.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Like it just takes like
Um,
a hard left turn into bad at that point. But anyway, off that topic. It's a new year.
it
It
is.
is 2021 AD.
It's the future.
And so, you got any like hopes, wishes, resolutions, etc. for this year?
Um, resolutions. I'm gonna write a song. Um,
Good.
I'm gonna beat more games.
Good.
Um, I'm gonna watch more movies. Like, I have a really bad habit of starting movies or starting shows or starting games, and then just never finishing them.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna crack down on myself and finish a good chunk of a backlog.
Yeah.
What about
Um
yourself?
what about me?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few resolutions in mind. Obviously, like the working out more and like the eating healthier and stuff like that, like the blah 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 blah. I have a really specific resolution for myself though, and it's to make one short film a month. So
Oh,
like, even if it's just like a stupid like 1 minute skit or whatever, like I feel like committing myself to at least finish one project every month will help me like just kind of get into the process of constantly working on these things and trying to
yeah, that'd be
keep myself
rad.
forward. Yeah. So,
I see in the notes here something about Persona 5.
oh yes, Persona 5. Can I gush about this game
By
for
all
a
means,
couple
I'm gonna be
minutes?
honest. This episode, just a brief aside about the content of this podcast about anime. Um, the 5 episodes of this anime that we were watching this week weren't all that character development rich, theme rich. They were very plot driven. They were like, ooh, and this is what's happening next, and there's a fight scene, and they're all rad, and they're very good episodes. But there's not a whole lot of content in terms of things that we can discuss that isn't just a summation, a summary of what happened in the episodes. So I think having a little long spiel up front about us, what we're doing, what we enjoy. I think this is good.
All right. Okay. So, into my little persona gush. I'm honestly kind of specific about like the kinds of games that I like. I mean, like when I'm watching like a movie or a television show or something, I'm usually like pretty universal as far as like what genres I like and such. But video games I'm very
Right.
specific about, and I think that it's because I can get my mind into like the conventions of that and like set my mind right for that.
Hmm.
But as far as video games are concerned, like it's a whole different thing because then I have to change the way that I interact with the game. So,
Right.
and I'm just not very adept about that. Like I'm not good at video games in general. So like the fact that I have to like change my play style between like genres of games means that I just in general have a difficult time getting into different genres like
Right.
like stuff like strategy games especially like I can't ever get into them, and it bugs me because like my brother loves strategy games and those are like the only games that he plays, so like whenever we want to play a game together he just recommends like a strategy game, and like I know I'm not going to enjoy it.
Like Fire Emblem, XCOM, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, Age of Empires, StarCraft, whatever. um
Ah.
and so like genres that I know I like are like single player, mostly action games that like aren't terribly difficult. I can get into platformers as well, and I tend to gravitate towards like horror.
Okay, so you like the older, like you like the Resident Evil games. You
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Anyway, back to Persona. A cousin of mine recommended Persona 5. He's omnidirectional as far as like video game genres go. He plays pretty much everything,
right?
but I'm not. So like when I was thinking about like getting Persona 5, I was like, like it's a JRPG. It's got like a social simulation factor to it. It's turn-based. I'm really turned off by turn-based gameplay. Like, I can't even get into fucking Pokemon because of that. So I was really like hesitant to do it, but then like it was $10 at GameStop or something. So like I just decided, what the fuck, I'll pick it up and try it. And I just have not been able to stop playing since. It's just one of those games where like 1 week in, I've put like 30 hours into it, and that's a lot for me. Like, as a semi-casual gamer, like somebody who like doesn't pick up a lot of games every year and like, I mean, like enjoys playing the ones that he plays or whatever. But like,
Hmm.
I got just like super invested into this, and like I think that it knows exactly where it needs to like excel in. So like, the graphics aren't especially spectacular, but like the 2D artwork that shows up is really incredible. The writing isn't like the greatest thing in the world, but kind of like plays into like this soap opera-y elements that's really really interesting, and like gets you super invested into all these characters and like this weird world where like, like every 5 minutes, Morgana is telling you some new shit you didn't know about earlier, and it's all fascinating.
Right. It definitely plays its strengths. All the Persona games do.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like elitist in that fan base where they're like, the first two games are the only good Persona games, but and then there's a lot of other people who are like, Persona 3, 4, and 5 are the only ones that exist. But the Persona series has always been like very good. It's kind of Resident Evil in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had as much variance, I don't think. I mean, it hasn't strayed that far.
Yeah.
Um, but oh god, this. People are gonna rip me apart for this. Persona 5 is like the Resident Evil 6 of the series, basically,
Oh, really?
where it's like it plays to much different strengths of the genre from compared to 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a very good game. I haven't played 5. I've played the hell out of 2, 3, and 4, but I've never played 5.
I would promise you to that I would like let you borrow the game from me, but one, we're gonna be like hundreds of miles apart in like a few days, so logistically that
And
won't
I
be.
do not own a PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess you don't own a PlayStation 4. But also the fact that I don't know when I'll be done with this game. Like, I don't know
Oh
how
yeah,
long
no,
it
it's a
is.
long game.
And like I'm very happy about that because I do enjoy it. And the other thing I like to say is that I like games that have like a very specific gameplay loop where like,
Hmm.
you're kind of doing, I mean, where like you can kind of like get into a routine of things, and like, it doesn't throw anything crazy out at you often. And like
Right.
Persona's really good about that because like you get like the social simulation aspect, and then you get like the turn-based like dungeon crawler stuff. And
Right.
it's really good at like balancing those, and like, it gives you like a really great balance of like that kind of turn-based combat, but then like you're not doing it too much, and you can like figure out everything you're going to do within a day, like 10 days ahead of you, and just like make these crazy coordinations that like you normally wouldn't do in real life.
It's a very fun series.
Yeah, I'm really really enjoying it. I wish I could make more than 2 lockpicks in an evening, but apart from that, really good
Oof.
game.
Yeah, that's always the problem. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the mall and it's nighttime. It's time to go to bed. You played one arcade game. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah, well, at least taking the train doesn't take up any time in this game. Like, that's good. Anyway, that's kind of my gush about the game. Like, you know, like it's not a perfect game. I'd say it's like an 8 out of 10 game, but like even like an 8 out of 10 game feels really good when you're getting into the stride of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Josh,
Yes.
I say we have an ad break here. It's a little early,
Mm-hmm.
but I say we have an ad break here, and then we kill this part of the podcast where we talk about the anime that we're supposed to be talking about.
Well, the good news is that like we don't have like a great big fan base to piss off, but after like doing like a 25-minute long diatribe about shit that isn't our subject matter. So, you know,
And who knows, they may like it. They may enjoy this format.
they might. Let's hope nobody storms my house.
Nope.
All right, we'll be back after this short ad break.
Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist.
And we have returned.
Let's get into these episodes. Yeah, like we said before, like these are action episodes. Like it's 5 episodes. It basically takes place over 48 hours. Like it's from like one afternoon to the afternoon 48 hours later. So,
And a ton of shit happens. Just so much stuff happens.
yeah, and I basically compress it into like two particularly long action scenes and then like just plot stuff in between those.
Right, little sprinklings, little backstory flashes, little sprinklings of the interclockworks of the homunculus. What are we calling them? The homunculus,
I just call them the homunculi, but
the crew, the gang. It's the fellers.
anyway, so basically there's like one long extended action scene from like the end of episode 21 all the way to the middle of episode 23. And then episode 24 is all action, and episode 25 ends with a setup for an action scene. So it's a lot of stuff happening, and there's not a lot of character development or theme within, but like it's still like it's still interesting stuff. It's just hard to like talk much about it in this form. So,
There is the ever-present concept of like technology used for war is bad.
I mean, yeah.
But that's like what it always is. That's what it's always been. That's like one of the major overarching themes of this show. That and like the importance of friendship. But I mean, it's an anime, so of course the importance of friendship is like I mean, what do you want me to say?
I don't want you to say anything except the truth and nothing but the truth.
And that's what a good friend would do, Josh. Use the Keyblade to open the heart of darkness.
I swear to God, if fucking great games like Persona 5 like become like a gateway drug into shit like Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to punch myself.
Josh, you gotta play Kingdom Hearts.
No. Oh my
You
God.
gotta play Kingdom Hearts.
I don't want to be one of those guys who's like pulling out the fucking chart of like when every single game takes place and like
Oh my
what
God.
dimension they're in and whatever. Like I don't I don't care that much. I just want like
Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key.
Kingdom Hearts 2.5x. The time portal is friendship.
Kingdom Hearts 1.8 Final Chapter Prologue. You could say pretty much whatever you want to say, and it's probably a Kingdom Hearts title.
Like the weird thing about Kingdom Hearts is like it's like such a random fucking idea. Like it's like Final Fantasy but with fucking Donald Duck in it. Like who the fuck came up
Disney.
with this?
It was literally. I think the story is that like a Square Enix and a Disney rep were in the same building at the same time, and just so happened to like the Square Enix rep was like, "Hey yo, Disney dude, want to make a collab vid?" And the Disney dude was like, "Yeah, fuck it. Here's Mickey Mouse."
Okay, we're getting back off track. So okay, so like one of the first things that happens in these set of episodes in episode 21 is Havoc is paralyzed. I thought he was dead. Like, first of all, they didn't give us anything to imply he was alive until he's like just shows up in the hospital. But
Oh yeah.
but like, good for him, I guess. But bad
I
news.
mean, at least he's not dead.
Yeah, at least he's not dead. But bad news, he's fucking paralyzed from the waist
No
down.
more leggies.
No more leggies. Very, like, we hate to see it happen. He seemed like a nice dude. Big, big fan of tits. Um,
Some rockin' bahongers.
and one of the things that kind of like gets mentioned is that like auto mail has like certain limitations to it. Like there are certain things that like just can't be done with this technology yet, and I think that's kind of interesting. Even though like I don't understand how like you can make an auto mail arm, but you can't like just make a couple auto mail legs. It seems a little odd to me. Like,
I mean, you literally can make like what's her face from like
oh
Rock Valley,
yeah,
who has the two automail legs with the cannons in the knees.
that's right. That's right. Is it
I
just
don't know. That was
that they
kind of
can't
weird.
make an auto male pelvis? Is that it? Like they haven't figured
That
that one
it,
out yet? Because
right, but
that's the
I
only thing
I
between the
guess if the
waist and the leg. So
I guess if the paralysis is like from the spine, you wouldn't have the nerve endings available to like control the mechanics of the leg.
I don't know if that's like
Like
scientifically
since
accurate, but
well, no, because if you think about it, if the paralysis is from the base of the spine down,
hmm
then none of the nerve endings that would have been there to control the function of the knee function because nothing below the base of the spine functions, right?
I suppose
So
so.
like, I mean, so like, what's her name? She had stumps.
Yeah.
Like her spine was working. She just got her legs cut off. She wasn't
hmm
paralyzed.
Yeah.
Uh, Ed, he has a stump.
hmm
But like Havoc, if they were to cut off his non-functional body, it would be like right under his stomach.
Yeah, I suppose so. That kind of makes sense. So anyway, that I feel like that's kind of interesting. Like in this world where like it seems like everything is just slightly disappointing. Automail has limits, just like everything else. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a fix all for every single like ailment of yours. So anyway, they
Right.
try to track down Dr. Marco to help Havoc get automail, and like we get a reveal later on that he's actually been imprisoned by the
Yeah, he's
homunculi.
not dead. They didn't kill him.
Yeah, which is weird because like I seem to have like this memory of him like literally getting stabbed in the forehead.
Yeah,
Like
I'm pretty sure Envy, not Envy, Lust,
yeah.
um, like skewered this man. But whatever.
I'm gonna have to return to like whatever that was, like episode 6 or whatever, to reconfirm that. But he's still alive. They need him for uh
He's an important sacrifice.
yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, so that's kind of one thing. What was I about to say about Havoc? He basically decides to retire, like because like he's gonna be really, he thinks he's gonna be useless, and Mustang has like this courageous moment where he's like, you're gonna like, you're, what does he say, like you're gonna catch up or something, like I'm gonna leave you so that you can catch up, or something like that.
Right. I don't remember exactly what the interaction was, but Havoc basically decides he's not gonna continue his military service because there's nothing that he could do that he thinks that would be like helpful,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially within his skill set that he can do while confined to a wheelchair. And Mustang basically is just like, man, that sucks. I really wish there was something I could get for you to do. I may be misremembering this entirely, but I think that Mustang is like, shit, man, I wish I could get you to work for me, but I mean, If you need to get out, then you need to get out.
Well, I believe they have two interactions. So like the first one is like he like brings up the idea and his intent to do it, and then like Mustang like is kind of like reluctant about it, and then like the second time
Hmm.
Havoc like confirms that he's going through with it, and then like Mustang's like, all right, but only so you can heal and catch up later or whatever or something like that.
Right. He gives him an out, but in like the Mustang way.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see Havoc again?
Genuinely, I can't remember.
No, but do you feel like we'll see him again?
I feel like we will. Yes, in my heart of hearts, I do think we'll see Havoc again.
Yeah, I suppose so, because they wouldn't have Mustang say that if he was just gonna like retire and peace out, never seen
No,
again.
you wouldn't think so.
Yeah. So that kind of leads us into the setup for the first like big action scene of these 5 episodes, and the longest of them. Um
Hmm.
which is that Edward decides that he needs to lure the homunculi out because they can't find the entrance back to the that state research center or whatever it
The
was.
fifth
The fifth
laboratory.
laboratory, that's right. So their plan is to lure Scar out and like basically do battle
And
with
use
him,
the fight
Honto,
with Scar as bait.
to get them out. They also do this because they have like some kind of inkling of an idea that Scar might have killed Winry's parents, and they need to like find the answers to that. So because there's that setup earlier with the Ishvalan and Xerxes where they kind of tell him about Winry's parents.
Right, they're like an Ishvalan with tattoos and a scar across his face.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that's exactly what they say, but they gesture really hard that that's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, it's like confirmed. They get in a fight, and they're like, "Why'd you kill those people?" And he's like, "Oh shit, I did kill those people." And Winry shows up, and she's big sad about it.
Yeah.
And then she tries to shoot him, but she can't because she doesn't have the hands of a killer.
And like in the lead up to the big question, will she shoot him? Like we get an actual flashback of Scar like as this fight against the Emestrians is happening. Like so
Hmm.
basically his brother was like training to be an alchemist, and while the Ishval are getting attacked, he's still studying, which I think is like a little ridiculous, but okay.
Right. It's a little silly. I don't quite get it. I don't know exactly what the state of attack they are under is. Like,
The Emestrians are approaching. Like I believe there's like a shot where like you can see like the village that they're in, and then like there's like a
and
hill
the
in the
Emestrians are like
foreground,
in
and
the window.
yeah. So like they're within like seeing distance. So very big problem, but he's still like fucking studying his alchemy and shit. Like, bro, just get out of there.
Yeah. And then all the villagers are like, "Oh, they have alchemists, but we have an alchemist too. Let your brother fuck him up."
Yeah, and that doesn't really work because like he spends like 90% of the battle like in his fucking room studying. And so like literally like half the city is dead by the time he gets out.
I I love how studying works in this universe. I don't know if it's like this in other shows, but in Full Metal Alchemist at least, studying is like a superpower where if you look at a book long enough and you read the right thing, then you unlock the secrets of the universe. It's not like studying in like a traditional sense where like if you look at a book, then you can understand via context clues, or sometimes depending on what source material you're looking at, you can just understand a new concept. This guy is looking at books that really don't have a whole lot to do with what he's.
Yeah.
The way that studying works is that they can jump to fucking Sherlock Holmesian conclusions about like scientific theories that they just cook up in like milliseconds. And everyone in this universe can do it apparently because the Elrics do it. It's just you just gotta study hard enough. You gotta read the right books
Yep.
for long enough.
they just rank up their knowledge stats by choosing to study during the evening instead of
they
like going to the arcade or the fucking burger shop or whatever.
they level up their intelligence, um, so that they can cast Firaga at a higher stat total.
So anyway, so like basically this guy finally decides to get out of the fucking studying and like leave, but then like one of the state alchemists shows up and positively decides to fuck everyone up like real quick. And the best that this guy can do is save his brother. Like
Hmm.
like what good the studying did you, man. Anyway, but then like
My left arm is for creating, and my right arm is for destroying.
man, that's deep,
And
bro.
so you set up for the dramatic irony of Scar's brother's arm being used to give Scar his arm back
Yeah.
because he lost his arm in the attack.
Mm-hmm.
But his brother died, and so they give him his brother's arm. But it was
Oh,
his right arm that he lost, so he has the destroying arm now. So he goes around using the power of destruction to avenge uh, his fallen blood lineage.
I mean that is pretty good like symbolic storytelling, like you know,
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the little bits of effort they put into the show to like really give you the story. Another one is the selective color that's used in this flashback. Like basically everything is like monochrome, black and white, all that.
right.
And
It's
then
this deep sepia tone.
yeah, and then like they use color in very specific ways, and the most important of which is the Emestrian's blue eyes. They set it up like earlier in the scene where like they're like killing people or whatever or walking down the hill, and then
I
like
thought they had red eyes.
no, they're blue. They're blue. And
Oh,
then
the Emestrians
yeah,
blue eyes.
the
Yes.
Emestrians have blue eyes. So then when Scar wakes up in the Emestrian hospital and sees Winry's parents who have blue eyes, like you instantly get like his viewpoint. You understand exactly what he's thinking and why he's doing what he's
Right.
doing. You make that connection in your head, and it's really really good storytelling. Like it doesn't need to be like over like explained or whatever. You get it.
Right, exactly. It's very good visual, simple storytelling, and you
Hmm.
get the point. It's this is why this is a good show, Josh.
That's really what I took away from that is like it's just like it's a really great way of like showing like why he did what he did. It wasn't just like a
Hmm.
cruel thing he did. He had like a psychological reason for doing it, even if it wasn't
Right,
like completely logical. Like it makes sense.
right. I mean, he was having a complete and total breakdown, but
Hmm.
the breakdown is somewhat psychologically justified.
Yeah. And so Scar, like after this happens, like there's a little more battle being done, but like he eventually like gets out of it, and later on he seems to be having some kind of like moral reconsiderations about what he's doing, because like he sees like the actual impact that his actions have led him to. So you know,
Now, would you mind a minor spoiler for? I don't think it's going to be much of a spoiler because they've done a very hard job signaling that this is going to happen.
uh,
I will refrain if you tell me no.
I don't know. Like it's one thing for me to say like, spoil it for me. That's great or whatever. But like, spoiling it for the audience is a little much. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess we can say like, like
We'll
skip
put a
it,
pin in that and get back to it later.
or just like, if you don't want to hear this random spoiler that I presume has something to do with Scar or whatever, like skip
Hmm.
ahead like 15, 30 seconds or whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, skip now. And then there's going to be a time code, and you're going to tell them what it is, and we're going to cut back to it then. And so Scar does a face turn. Scar like joins the main party of like good guys eventually.
Oh, that's nice.
Fairly soon, actually.
That's pretty great.
And I don't remember exactly what the circumstances are,
Hmm.
but he does wind up coming along with the party.
All right, that's pretty cool. And like, you know, I kind of have like a supposition about that, but like, that kind of brings me to this character that I don't think we've actually mentioned before, Mei Chang. Like, she showed up in the last set of episodes that we did. I think that's the
Right.
first time we saw her, but like, this is like the first time we're like really getting to like, you know, see her do anything significant. Like,
The little Shingese girl.
yeah. Um, okay, so let me talk about her. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think she's a bad character or anything, but I positively do not care about her, like
Just
at
don't give a
all.
shit.
I
Exactly.
don't care. Like
I
she
genuinely, I don't know why she's there. Genuinely.
like I presume she'll have like a reason to be here later. Like
If she does, I don't remember.
maybe she's part of what will happen with Scar later, but like she's not a bad character, but like I don't see her reasoning to be here yet. Like it just feels like one of those
Well, I mean,
things
she
where
did
like
say she was looking for. I'm looking for Edward Elric, the world's greatest alchemist.
yeah, and then like she literally shows up in battle with Edward and like has no reaction to him at all. Just
She makes a short joke actually.
oh, does she? I guess I
Yeah,
must have
she makes a
been.
short joke about
Oh
him.
yeah.
She's like, "Who's this twerp?"
Oh yeah, that's right. And don't they set that up because I think when we're first introduced to her, like she kind of has like a little fantasy about Edward and like he's super tall or something.
Yeah, she's like, "He's the greatest. He's so cool, and he's the greatest alchemist in the world, and he's 8.5 feet tall, and he's a massive horse cock."
I don't think she said that, but
I mean, you can look it up. She did.
okay, careful there. Let's not get this too weird.
I didn't listen. I didn't say it. She did. Anyways,
Let's get out of the sexualizing children here. So like I just like it's one of those things where like it doesn't annoy me that she's there, but like if I were like the writer and I had to say like cut out something, Mei Chang is what I would cut out
right?
because
If
she
you were
just
the
doesn't.
editor,
Yeah, like it feels like the scene in the movie that isn't bad, but like it just drags down the pace. So like it just and like it doesn't need to be there. So
right?
yeah. Anyway, other things that happen in this action scene. So, while Edward and Alphonse are doing battle with Scar, Mustang and Hawkeye are trying to keep the police occupied, and they like eventually capture Gluttony. But this is like the first time we see like Mustang having fun, which I think is pretty cool. Like, he's like talking about. I mean, he's like on the police intercom, and like trying to convince everybody that like there's shit going on like in other sectors or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. It's just fun to see him in like a different context where like he's not so serious and everything.
Yeah, he's not just you know just having a bad time about it.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that's happening is that Ling and his ninja underlings or whatever basically square up with Bradley and Gluttony, like as they're heading towards Ed to fight Scar. So
Hmm.
there's some battle done there. Like it's all pretty cool. Like Ling's a really good fighter, you can tell.
The fact that he's able to keep up with Wrath, like this guy's nothing to be fucked with. Like
I believe they even like cut off part of his blade or whatever, like which like is
that's right. He like catches his sword and like makes a flashbang or something. And he's like, "Oh, that's very good. You blinded me, but not in this eye." And then he takes off his eye patch. He's like, "Ooh, homunculus tattoo."
and like I didn't presume he could see out of that eye just because like there's no pupil.
Well,
Like
also
light
because
can't
it's
enter.
covered with an eye patch.
Yeah, like
I
if
guess
you
he's got the Sharingan. I don't know. What's the Naruto thing that Sasuke has?
I don't know.
I think it's Sharingan. Somebody will correct me on that.
Okay, so like I have a question about Bradley's
Hmm.
like love life. Like,
Yes.
okay, so like okay, so first of all, like the eye patch thing, like how does his wife not know at this point? Like, how are you married for this long and like you keep your eye patch on all the time? Like,
I mean, if you've got a gnarly, vicious gap there, I'm not sure you'd take it off in front of your. I don't. If I had a big, nasty eye hole, I don't think I'd take my eye patch off in front of anybody.
I mean, fair enough, but like you have to take the eye patch off sometimes, right? Because it'll get all sweaty and gross in there and whatnot.
Well, yeah, but that's why you carry multiple eye patches. You know how we have masks for every day of the week?
Yeah, I guess.
He's got 2 eye patches for every day of the week.
I mean, good for him. Good planner. Um, we stand like. No, I'm not gonna say that.
What, we stand authoritarian regimes?
I was gonna say we
Too
stand.
soon?
I was gonna say we stand dictators, but that's not the case. We do not stand dictators here. Uh, Especially not real ones. Fictional ones we give them like a little bit of leeway, but real ones, no. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to ask is like they like bring up at some point that like homunculi don't have like reproductive abilities, so like
Mm-hmm.
I know they address that like his son is adopted, but that just makes me wonder
Right.
like does does Bradley have a sex life? Like
I mean, have you looked at him? Of course he does.
but like saying that he doesn't have any reproductive abilities kind of like leaves it really vague. So like is he just impotent or does he straight up not have genitals? Like what's the deal?
I think. Well, I mean, they have genitals.
They do?
They obviously have. Well, yeah. I mean, Lust got big old titties,
Breasts are not genitals though.
aren't they? They're sexual organs.
Kind of, but they're not genitals, I don't think. I don't think they're classified as genitals.
They may not be, but I mean, like, he's got a weenie. Listen, Josh. All I'm saying is that if you go on Rule 34 and look up Wrath Fullmetal Alchemist, you'll find results.
I'm sure I would. I'm not going to do that, but I'm sure that I would.
He's got a weenie.
Once we get to the end of this show, we got to do like, like all the like
Blooper reel.
well, not only like a blooper reel, but like we've got to like give out awards for like, like best episode, favorite character, and then like the character you would fuck has got to be one. Like
Hawkeye. You know, I've been hiding my power this whole time, but it's Hawkeye.
To be fair, she does look pretty great in glasses. Like it's a great look.
God,
So
Josh with the
sexy.
girls in glasses.
I'm sorry. I like
You sure that's? Wait a minute, Hawkeye with her hair down and glasses? Who is this? She's not. She's got her hair down and she's wearing glasses, so that means she's a completely different person. I can't recognize her.
Yeah, so with the fight with Ling and Lan like literally cuts her own arm off like at some point cuz like she gets like a really bad injury and
She straps
can't-
it to a dog.
Yeah. Which is like fucking crazy. Like
It's pretty gross, actually.
it's a power move. Like is what
It is definitely a power move. It was really gross to see, though, just flopping around. And poor dog.
Poor dog. Like, I want to give that dog a little cookie and say like, I'm sorry. Like,
Give him a little cookie.
I don't know. What are reparations for literally strapping an arm to a dog? Like,
Give it a greenie. My dogs like greenies.
greenies.
Yeah, they're little toothbrush-shaped little snacks, and they make their breath better.
Oh, I didn't know that. I should get my dogs those.
Yeah, they really like. They're expensive though.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but they come in like a pretty big bag. So if you get them, you'll have them for a while.
That's good. Anyway, but like, it's a real.
This is not an ad for Greenies. We are not sponsored by Greenies,
Wait, we're not.
but we could be.
Yeah,
could be.
Greenies, hit us up. We're
Mr. Greenie, hit me up.
Mr. Greenie, hit us up, please. We will
Or Mrs.
or Mrs. I'll eat them myself. Like, I will be munching down on these greenies as we discuss this show, and then every time like every time I make a munch, I'll be like, and this is why you should try greenies. Order now at Amazon.com/greenies. And
Jesus
remember to use
Christ.
the promo code How-to Otaku to get 0.08% off your first order.
And yes, once you have your greenies, you can then talk about the arguably more important fight scene in this set of episodes. And it's very good. You've either seen it or you haven't, and if you haven't, you should. And I kind of want to just glide through it and get to the real important stuff. But they fight envy and gluttony.
Oh yeah.
Ed, Al, there's like a bit in a house that I'm breezing past, but everybody's trying to recover. They've captured gluttony. They try and interrogate him, but they don't get anything out of him, and he breaks free and he goes into like crazy hyper mode, and his whole chest is teeth. He looks like the gaping dragon from fucking Dark Souls.
Yeah, he does a whole fucking Pokemon Evolve shit.
But he breaks out, and then Envy shows up, and Mustang and Ling's lackey. That's fun to say. And Hawkeye, and is it Marco? Is it Doctor? It's not Dr. Marco.
It's not Dr. Marco. It's just some unnamed doctor who Mustang has a
one of the
connection
doctors. They are all there, and they dip because shit breaks bad with gluttony. And so Ling and Alphonse and Edward are all fighting gluttony and envy. And Envy fucking Gluttony. He does a Kirby suck, and just obliterates. Envy dead. Ling, no, not Ling. Ling survives. Ling's not near them when that happens, is he?
No, he's in the next episode. By the way, for you folks at home, some of us did our homework. Some of us did the
4/5 of our
4/5 of their homework. And you're the guy who
listen.
You're the guy who when a pop quiz would come up in middle school or whatever, you would answer 4 out of the 5 questions, knowing that you'd get the 4 right, and so you didn't have to.
Yeah, I got an 80. I got an 80. And I've got a 25% chance to get 100.
No, you don't. If you don't answer one of the questions, you don't get a 100.
No. It's multiple choice.
That's not how it works.
That is exactly how it works. Pop quizzes are always multiple choice. What are you?
Well, I mean, I guess if you if you guess the question, then. But I was just thinking
Plus,
you blew it
hold
blank.
On, Josh. I'm the professor. I know the itinerary. I've seen this show before. You can't pop quiz the professor.
Oh yeah, well, did Link die then, or didn't he?
Did Link die?
Ling.
Oh, Ling. Yeah, no, he got sucked.
When I play Legend of Zelda, Link dies all the time, but yeah.
You're in the Dark Timeline?
Yeah.
You're in the Ocarina of Time timeline?
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm fucking shit at video games. That's why I haven't That's why I've not started a Twitch, because I'm just awful, and nobody will watching me.
You should. It'd be funny.
I'm awful at games, and I don't talk while I'm playing them, so I'm not a fun Twitch streamer. Anyway, basically, Gluttony fucking sucks up Envy, Ling, and Edward in one go, which
suck.
And that leads us to episode 25, which is kind of like a bottle episode of its own, and isn't
it called In the Belly of the Beast?
I believe that's what the one before it is called, actually, which is really weird. They named episode 24 after what happens in episode 25. It's kind of weird, but
anyways, I'm gonna do this part not looking at notes because you don't believe me.
Oh yeah.
They get.
I see your cursor.
That's your cursor. We're using the same profile.
No, that's yours.
Where?
On the Google Drive.
Yeah, my cursor is at Pokemon.
No, it's not. It's right in front of new powers.
Okay, fuck it. I don't. I'm on an iPad. I don't have a cursor. What are you talking about?
Well, like wherever you like decide to like put the thing before you start typing, the whatever that's called, the
Okay.
little
Well,
beeping line.
they get sucked. And Edward and Ling are like, what the fuck is going on? Where are we? Did we get sucked? Oh god, we got sucked. Let's eat this boot. They eat a boot. I remember that.
They do eat a boot. I will give you that credit.
They eat a boot. Envy's not with them at first because you're supposed to think Envy died, but Envy shows up and they're like, "Yeah, we started the Ishvalan Civil War because we thought it'd be funny and quirky, and it's all a big evil plan to make Philosopher's Stones. But we're still not telling you why we're making the Philosopher's Stones. We just need it. So eat shit, nerd."
Yeah, and
I'm pretty sure that's exactly all that happens. And then like a big dragon shows up.
no,
they're gonna fight it next episode.
No, like Envy has like a big
Oh, that's right. Envy turns into a big dragon.
Well, it's not even like a big dragon. It's like a fucking monster with like 2,000 heads or whatever. Like, it's really, really.
And it's 3D, and it looks bad.
I don't know. I thought it looked all right, and like I've got like a big screen.
How'd I do?
Huh?
Did I do? Did I do good? Did I remember most of it?
Okay. You did remember most of it. Bonus.
Yeah, I got 100 on the pop quiz.
No, bonus question.
Uh-huh.
What did Edward? I mean, what item from the real world did Edward find upon entering this place? Like, there's a very specific item that he finds, like, early into the episode.
Was it Alphonse's hand?
It is. Correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, because Alphonse's hand got sucked, too.
Yeah, I kind of thought that, like, they would, like, do something with that, where, like, Alphonse's hand would still, like, Alphonse in the real world would still be able to, he would still be able to, like, feel and control with his hand, and that they would use it to like communicate beyond the planes. But
that would have been quirky.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool, but they don't do that. So
no, they don't.
It's fine, I'm not upset. It's just a writing thing that I would have come up with, I think. Anyway, like, it is pretty interesting that like Envy is literally the one that starts the Ishvalan War. Like, he's literally the one that shot the kid in the face. That started the whole thing.
Envy's the one that shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand. I mean, little Ishvalan kid. Oops.
Franz Ferdinand is World War One.
Okay, JFK.
No, you are wrong. JFK is a character from the Canadian television show Clone High. Thank you.
Okay, Abe Lincoln. Wait, shit.
Have you ever seen Clone High?
Of course I have. That's one of the best shows of all time.
How did they get a hold of my spaghetti video?
Oh my god. I heard they're doing like a new season of it, and I'm not excited for it because I'm so worried they're just gonna make it garbage. If they do a new Clone High, I don't want it to be any of the same characters.
Reboots are difficult, but not impossible. Like, just because, like, it's difficult to emulate the same spirit and then, like, also update it for the time. Because, like, a lot of times, like, things that get rebooted are, like, very specific to their time of release. So, like, it's kind of a problem that, like, ran into the Animaniacs reboot recently, where, like, this very 90s sensibility, like, doesn't quite work in 2020. Like, some of the same types of jokes that worked back then don't really work now. So, like...
Yeah, being a person who never watched Animaniacs as a kid. I just don't have any interest in watching the new one. I heard by all means it's fine, and it's like a pretty good extension of the original, but it's just like, well, I mean, I don't have any context for whether or not the original was good because I never watched the original, and it's at this point dated to the point that it's probably not worth watching unless you have some sort of emotional connection to.
I mean, like, it is dated, but as long as, like, you understand, like, kind of Hollywood history, I think that, like, Animaniacs still kind of works. Like, you know, at least the original show does if you kind of, like, get back into, like, that 90s mindset and, like, try to think of it that way.
Actually, you know what? I take it back. The fingerprints joke. I know that one. That's pretty funny.
The fingerprints joke? Oh my god.
Yeah, the one of them is like, we're looking for. He's like, you said you wanted fingerprints, and so she's like holding a big caricature of Prince.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, no fingerprints, and he was like, oh, ha ha ha, get it? Because I was gonna stick my fingers inside of Prince's butthole, and then yeah, that one's kind of funny.
I don't think that's a specific wording. I think I know what you're talking about, but it's not like fingerprints. Like they literally just say the words
It
like
is. That's
no.
exactly the
They say
joke.
like we need to dust for prints, and and then they say no fingerprints, and
No, but that's.
so
I don't know why it works out like that, but something about fingerprints.
um, but anyway, like so like that MTV like style that like Clone High has, like it's very like
Hmm.
it's very specific to that like late 90s early 2000s like MTV kind of sensibility, so like
Right.
trying to update that for today is going to be really difficult. And from what I mean, like I have a little bit of faith in it because like the original creators Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are coming back to do this, I believe.
And Lord and Miller can do almost no wrong.
Yeah, Lord and Miller are like chef's kiss. I haven't seen the Jump Street movies, but I have seen Lego Movie. I have seen Spider Verse. They're both fantastic. And Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That's also pretty good. But
Lord and Miller did Spider-Verse?
well, they were producers on it, but
I had no idea.
yeah. So like, basically everything they touch is perfect, and like, they even like directed 75% of Solo or something like that. So like Solo, a Star Wars
I
story.
haven't seen Solo.
Okay, so like I mean, they they filmed 75% of the movie before getting fired by Kathleen Kennedy, and then they brought Ron Howard in to like reshoot the rest of the movie, and then he just like reshot the whole movie. So like
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it was a big deal. It like bumped the budget up like another like $50 million. They it basically wasted all the crew's time, and you know and the movie wasn't that great. So what did they get out of it? Should have trusted Lord and Miller.
Just trust Lord and Miller.
Trust Lord and Miller. That's all we gotta do.
That's the lesson for the day, ladies
Yeah,
and
the
gentlemen.
lesson
Friendship good, trust Lord and Miller.
the lesson for the day is trust Lord and Miller, and do not trust some rando we've never heard of in Central Command, because that's the next thing we're talking about. Mustang is fucked. Like
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh, my God.
so
I forgot that happened. Yeah, Mustang, he's like, oh, yeah, this guy. The guy that was his, like, leading officer.
yeah,
Um,
and like
at whatever branch he was at before he got transferred to Central, told him about this one guy, and he's like, this guy is a guy that's a good guy. So Mustang is like, well, I need good guys, and so he's like, he just goes to him. He's
and
like,
like immediately plays all of
colonel
his cards, and then he
oh my,
literally gets
just
fucked
immediately
over.
folds his hand.
Like it's like
God, what an idiot.
honestly, like it does kind of bug me because like it feels like the kind of outlandishly stupid thing that not even he would do. Like
Yeah, no, he definitely. I don't know. He trusted the word of who I'm going to call Chessman, because that's all I know that he did. He played chess and good. He trusted the word of chessmen, and
Excuse
so
me.
if chessmen,
I mean, like,
yeah,
Bradley's
chessmen.
introducing somebody to him, and he's like, "Here is our Minister of Chess, Mr. Chessman.
Yeah, Mr.
Hello,
Chessman.
I play chess."
People just named after their jobs.
Well, that's like how certain things happen. Like, like
Yeah,
I
like
think,
Smith.
yeah, Smith is like literally like a family of Smiths. So anyway,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what McGowan means, is like son of Smith,
son of Smith.
or it's something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Fucking Scottish names.
Listen here,
Have I triggered you?
I will no longer sit and speak with a man who has no respect for the name of a Scotsman. And so that being
All hail
said,
the British Empire.
you can follow me on Twitter at Brogan_live. If you like Brogan, you'll love Brogan Live. Uh, None of this fucking British Empire, none of these fucking. I swear to God, you've disappointed. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. I don't even know if I should let you plug your social media.
Well, will you at least let me?
Fucking
Will you at
degenerate.
least let me plug the show? You can like, follow, and share us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at How-to Otaku Pod. And if you want to send us an email, you can go to howtootakupod@gmail.com. And if you get to our Anchor page, anchor.fm/howtootaku, there are two things you can do there. You can, well, first of all, you can listen to us there. But second of all, you can send us voice memos. So if you have any particular thoughts about the show that you'd like us to hear, just send us a little memo on Anchor. And if you really, really like the show, you can also support us through the Anchor support button. Just click the little support button, and it'll give us a monthly donation of your choosing. So, yeah, that's pretty great.
Josh, you did such a good job.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at J_D_Thorn and Letterboxd at JD Thorn.
I was gonna tell you that you had permission to do it, but then you did it anyway, so I guess fuck me. Anyways, I'll see you, Space Cowboy.
Farewell, my friend.